Good morning and welcome to the NJ Real Estate Show. We're so glad that you can join us this morning. I'm hoping that you're enjoying your day even though it's raining outside. Remember, we can always be sunny on the inside. Anyway, we want to let you know this week that a lot of you have really been contacting me in reference to what happened with Bank of America. And I just want to recap what we covered last week. Please remember that Bank of America has frozen all of their foreclosures. And what that means for you, the homeowner, is basically that you have more time to stay in your home before the marshal comes and really puts a boat lock on it and tells you got to get out. Uh, so, um, but just be conscious that even though this is happening, okay, you still have to get your act together. You've got to save your money. You got to do whatever you got to do to hopefully just, reinstate your loan, modify it, come to some type of payment agreement if you really want to stay in your home. Um, this is going to develop with time. They're being audited, Bank of America. They're looking to see exactly what it is that they're going to be doing. But in the meantime, buyers, you still have the opportunity to purchase a home. I mean, the market is still great. The interest rates are still low. And one of the things you need to understand is that we're in a buyer's market, which means that we have a lot of listings. There's a lot of houses to choose from, buyers, and this is the best opportunity for you. Again, I'm your host, Antonia Roman, coming to you live. If you're just joining us this morning, the NJ Real Estate Show, I'm so glad you could be with us. I do want to let you know that starting next week, we're going to have some special guest speakers on the show. And these are going to be experts specifically in the real estate industry who are going to be sharing with us key important elements and give us key important tools that we need to use right now in this current real estate market. So I am hoping that you're going to be looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to it because I have really lined up a pool of great speakers for the next couple of shows. So I really hope you'll join us for that as well. What I want to let you know today is that a lot of people have actually emailed me and asked me, okay, you keep saying that right now is the good time to buy a house and the interest rates are low and da 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 da, right? How do I actually go about the process? What do I need to do to get a loan? How do I know I'm a first-time buyer? How do I know that I could really afford a home? Well, buyers, you need to understand that your very first step to know if you can even buy a home is by going to a mortgage lender. Go to a bank. See how they're going to pre-qualify you, what type of loan you're going to qualify for. Whether it's FHA, conventional, VA, those are the things that you're going to discuss with the lender. They're going to ask you for specific details. They're going to run your credit. They're going to check your income. They're going to verify your employment. They're going to do all these things that are necessary to really know if you qualify to buy a home. So one of the things that I want to tell you is that if you're a buyer and you're saying to yourself, oh, I really want to buy in this neighborhood or in that neighborhood, and this is my price range. Well, you don't really know what your price range till you actually go to the mortgage lender and they figure it out for you. So that's really your first step, to answer all those questions to you who have been emailing me about how do I know I'm a first-time home buyer. First of all, I'm a firm believer that not just anybody can buy a house, okay? You really have people who they're just renters. They just want to rent for the rest of their lives. They're comfortable doing that. And then you actually have people who are ready, they're renters, but they now want to invest. And they want to say, you know what, I'm ready to take that next step. I'm ready to be a homeowner. I'm ready to have a mortgage, pay taxes, pay homeowners insurance. I'm really ready to take that next step of higher responsibility. Why? Because when you're a renter, if something goes wrong, Who do you call? The landlord, right? That's exactly what you do. But when you're a homeowner, you have to call yourself when there's a problem, okay? If something goes wrong with the plumbing, if something goes with the electrical, all of a sudden a big windstorm comes and it blows part of your roof, you're the one who has to fix it, nobody else, okay? So in order to really be a homeowner, okay, you really need to be ready. Some people's spirit are just not ready to be a homeowner. We understand that. So stay as a renter if that's what you're comfortable doing. But for those of you who are really ready to take that next step, that's why we're here. We are a people personal show where we want to help you step by step to really understand the process of how it is that you're going to buy a home. And that's why for the next episodes that are going to be coming on the show, we're going to have some great expert speakers who are going to give you everything you need step by step to be able to buy a home. And right now, we're going to go to a commercial, and we'll be right back.
I didn't know what the first step was to take.
It was my first time buying a home.
There were stacks and stacks of paperwork.
I was looking for something easy to get into.
I want a big backyard so I can play with all my friends.
When it's your first house, you don't know what the process is like.
And the first thing we did was call a realtor.
How do you know when you're working with a realtor? Look for the Realtor R.
Buying a home for the first time? Let someone with experience and knowledge guide you. Ask your agent if they're a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
I'm the landlord, the gardener, and the handyman.
Okay, folks, thank you for joining us this morning. This is the NJ Real Estate Show. I am your host, Antonia Roman. I'm so glad you could join me this morning. And what are we talking about this morning? Again, I did the recap with what happened with Bank of America. I've received a lot of emails from you. You're asking me, how do I know if I'm a first-time home buyer? Since Antonia, you keep saying, now's the time to buy, And basically, it's a step-by-step process. And really, really, buyers, what you need to have is you need to have what I call all your ducks in order. You know what I mean? What does that mean? You need a job. You need to have a credit score. Okay? We live in the United States of America and we're all a number. The credit scores that we're given by the three bureaus, the three main bureaus of credit, are very crucial for us as individuals. And your credit score really gives you a status and a value, basically, if you can actually buy a home. So I know a lot of you are questioning, well, I don't know what my credit score is like. I haven't checked my credit. Matter of fact, I've never even had a credit report, on me. Well, I understand that. And now is a good time to actually run your credit. We're actually going to have an expert with us on our next show who's going to actually be covering credit reports. And you're really going to want to tune in because she's going to have some very valuable information that you are going to take and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know that. Because a lot of times we think that we're A-okay with our credit, and folks, sometimes we're not. There's skeletons behind the closet, like they say, okay? So what we want to tell you today is that although we are going through this major crisis right now, Bank of America is being audited. Who knows? Some other banks may be audited too. Who knows what the judge is going to say once they, do a specific ruling and really look into it. But bottom line is that the foreclosures are frozen. What does this do for you as a homeowner? You have the opportunity to still get it together, save your money, still think about what you want to do with your situation. If you really want to stay in your home, if you just decide you're going to do a short sale, if you decide, well, you know what, I'm going to give this bank back to the bank as a deed in lieu, if you're actually just going to say, hey, I have nothing I can possibly do at this point, I'm just going to let them foreclose on my home. It's ultimately your choice. But with this happening with Bank of America, it's just going to give you a little bit longer time to be able to stay in your home. And I know that a lot of you definitely want to stay in your home. And I don't blame you because you've been in your home for a long time and your home is your life. And we understand that. One of the other things that I want you to understand is that there's the situation where people are saying to me, well, you know what? I want to buy a home, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to buy a home because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know what tomorrow holds for me. And my advice that I can give you is, you know what? When you know in your gut that you want to do something and you really have that will and that power that tells you nothing is going to stop you, you're just going to do it, then you're going to go forward and you're going to buy a house. But if you're a little skeptical right now about buying a home, if you're asking yourself, hey, wait a second, do I really want to do this? It's really going to sacrifice some of the things that I'm used to doing. That's a choice and a decision that you really have to make. And it's a big responsibility owning a home. This is not like going out and buying a pair of shoes. You wear the shoes today to the party, and tomorrow you go back and you return the shoes and get back your refund. That's not how it works. Okay? When you're buying a house that you're investing in. You're going to be there for several years. The wear and tear and the maintenance of the house is going to be your responsibility, not anybody else's. So when you start thinking about buying a home, remember, you're buying a home because of necessity for yourself, your family. Like right now, if you're in an apartment and the apartment you feel you're congested and you can't breathe and you don't have enough space and room and you really wish you had another, extra bedroom or a family room where you could have more entertainment, then you know what? You will start looking into possibly buying a house because you'll say, hey, a house might give me more room. It's either that or you get a bigger apartment and you pay more rent. I mean, what do you want me to tell you, folks? Rent, is also expensive. Rent is not cheap. So if you really think that rent these days is cheap, it's not. It actually costs you more sometimes to rent a home than it is to buy a home. The only difference now is that the banks are a little bit more strict when it comes to qualifying you to buy a home. It's not like a few years ago that if you walked, talked, and you breathed, you were able to get a house. You know what I mean? That's not how it is anymore, folks. The banks are actually doing their job. They're actually doing what they're supposed to do, which is to really screen the person carefully to make sure they can afford to buy that home and maintain it. Okay, so we're going to come right back to you right after this message.